Hi everyone, I'm going to do a very brief talk with you guys today about switching to home working in light of everything that's going on. We are preparing to start teaching you guys online. So let me go over some things to consider when you are starting to move to home learning. First off, we're going to do a quick overview, what it is, how to make it work, about creating a space and looking after yourself and your well-being, checking your tech, online resources. Then I'm going to demo Zoom Learning, which is a platform that a lot of us will be using in our online teaching. And then we're going to look at some alternatives to software as well. So what is it? Why now? Things are changing rapidly, and all of the academic staff and all the technicians at UCA want to be able to support you guys no matter what happens. So that's why we're switching to the sort of non-face-to-face online learning for the time being. So we want to make sure that you're able to work from home and that, we're putting a priority on your health, your safety, and your well-being. So working at home sounds great. A lot of us will have to consider working at home as part of our professional practice after we graduate and become our own practitioners. It's very common for most of us who freelance to work at home. I myself work with clients in the United States and around the world, and being able to communicate with them through online methods and finding a way to work at home is really, really crucial as part of that professional practice as well. It might sound really exciting that you guys are able to hang out and watch all the Netflix you want, but actually for a lot of your friends, this will probably be a really difficult time. So it's really, really important to watch out for your friends that maybe UCA was a really safe space for them. Maybe this is where they came and they felt like they could create the things they needed to create and be the people that they can be. And so please, please, please reach out to your friends and look after your friends. So how to make working from home work. Routines help. So create blocks of your day with breaks, especially for your mental health. Building that routine earlier on helps get yourself out of bed. Get dressed every day. Get yourself moving. Don't always have the news on. Check the news regularly, but in a way where it's safe for your anxiety and mental health. Know yourself. If you're starting to feel like you're struggling, reach out. We all know the sort of points where things feel like it's a bit much. And it's okay to recognize the fact that you might be feeling anxious or upset or worried or even depressed right now. These are normal things to be feeling in really extraordinary times. Think about things you can do for the friends that are struggling. Share. Use your platforms to cheer people up. I'm sure we'd all appreciate seeing some of your fantastic work rather than looking at empty shelves at Sainsbury's. So please keep posting and sharing with us. Use hashtags like @UCA or @UCA online learning or UCA in isolation, whatever you want to create for a hashtag, but let us know and let us see what you're creating. We'd love to see it. Isolation is really important to look after your mental health when you're working in isolation. Depression is something that we need to be very mindful of. Feeling anxious and heightened anxiety are also issues when the news is constantly rubbish. Sometimes turning it out really helps. The news is moving really fast, but be sure to only check reliable news sources like the BBC News or looking at NHS guidelines, and do it in gradual steps. Having it on all the constantly just creates a lot of white noise. Being away from friends, your flings, your loved ones, it's very, very hard. And we know that digital contact with people won't ever replace that sort of face-to-face interaction. But check in with each other, whether, it's doing like a morning mindfulness routine together or sending your friend a ridiculous pic of your face. Do something to help everyone else out and reach out to everyone that you know. It's important to find the right space. Not all of us have to stay indoors at this time of the recording, which is the 19th of March. Social distancing, Boris Johnson is currently recommending you keep 2 meters away, away from people. But, try and get fresh air as long as you can. Unless you have to self-isolate because you have symptoms or otherwise told. Find the right space. It might mean that you have to stay indoors, but this might not be ideal. So there are a few things you could try. Think about other options. If there's a friend or family member who's happy to have you stay with them, consider that as an option. If you've been asked to self-isolate, it might not be possible to stay away, from your own home, but check if it's okay by reading that website, which is in the links. Also, to get help with your housing problems, there's a useful contacts for housing links there. And if you're supporting someone who is self-isolating, check on how to do that safely, yeah? Eat right. You can still get food delivered. Do your local restaurant a favor and not order from the big chains. They're going to really appreciate your patronage right now. Make sure that you're getting healthy food. Day 16 of ramen is a terrible idea. Think about your diet, and your appetite might change if you find yourself a lot more sedentary than you normally are. But make sure you eat regular meals. Keeping your blood sugar stable is really important for your mental health, and that's also in the links. Also, stay hydrated. Drinking water is important for your mental health, and also important for your health. Not saying drink gallons and gallons of water, but, consider a glass of water instead of a Red Bull every now and then. There's a great link for water drinks in your health. There's also some medical theories that staying hydrated may help you stay healthy because your voice and your throat is well coated with water. It helps other bacteria and stuff from sticking on it. But like I said, everything within moderation. Plus, too, you bought all that loo roll, so you might as well, use it for what it's intended for. If you're currently in treatment, make sure that you have ways of keeping up to date with your treatment. Ask your therapist how they can support you, and see if they're starting to move to doing things like online therapy or phone and therapy sessions as well. There's some campus resources for you to consider. And if you ever need to talk to someone right away, there's always Nightline. They are a fantastic organization. They are there for you to talk to you, and, not at the point where you're literally at the edge of the bridge, hopefully long before you get there, or if you're finding you're struggling supporting somebody else who does have mental health issues, so please give them a ring for further guidance. Making the right space. Create a space in your home and make it feel like you can create work there. Some of you won't be able to not work outside of your bedroom because that's the only space you have, so think about ways you could, push the bed to the side, throw down a bit of plastic sheeting, and set up your easel. Or think about ways of, stacking some boxes or some plastic tubs together to make a desk. Heck, your top of your dresser might be a great option if you want to do, a standing desk so you're not sitting in your sofa chair all day. So think of we're all creative problem solvers here at this university, so think of a creative way to find a rewarding space for you to do the work that you want to be doing. Yeah? Keep in touch daily with those around you. Make plans to video chat with people. You might feel like you're more spontaneous, but letting a friend know that they're planning to have a chat with you at 8 p.m. that evening might be the thing that gets them through that day. Might be the thing that helps them look forward to tomorrow. So please make sure that you make plans with your friends to, meet up and rewatch season 1 of Friends and talk about how Ross and Rachel should never be together, or whatever your feelings are on that. If you run out of things to talk about, hey, why don't you talk about art? It's a thing you all have in common. You guys can look at so many digital resources online right now. You guys could play video games together. You guys could sign up to Duolingo and start learning French. Whatever you want to do, but think about activities that maybe you and your peers could do. Maybe you could all start a cooking show where you're trying to find new recipes to cook with Heinz beans. But think about the sort of things that you can do to help reach out to people. If you're worried about loneliness, think about things you do to connect with people. For example, putting extra pictures up of the people you care about might be a nice reminder of the people in your life. And also, too, if you're at home and it's really, really quiet, put on a chatty radio station or a TED Talk or a podcast. Make sure that the radio station isn't one of those grim ones with all the negative news, but something just to fill the house with sound to make it feel like you're still out and about and active. There are also sound libraries with things like sounds of the galleries and museums, so you can fill your space with the sort of artistic spaces that you like to work in. It's important to check your technical accessibility. Of course, we're not relying on all of you guys to have the most latest and greatest tech. We're aware that some of you guys simply can't afford that. So what we're looking at now is just to understand where you're at with your tech. Do you have a reliable internet connection? Is it fast enough to stream videos? If not, can you stream audio? Can you still access Wi-Fi in a cafe or library if you stand outside? These are all options to consider. Do you have a laptop or a computer to use? Is the computer up and running? Do you struggle with the computer? We can help you with that. If not, tablets and iPads and Kindles have so many great apps and things you guys could be using and creating with that. What's most important is that you have some way every day to connect to your UCA emails, because that's going to be one of the primary ways we're keeping in touch with you. Last but not least, do you have a smartphone? Let's face it, most of your phones nowadays do more things than laptops did 10 years ago. So think about ways that maybe your practice will shift with the sort of technology you have. We're not expecting you guys to be creating the stuff you're creating with the access to all the resources at the university. We're looking for you guys to find ways to keep creating with what you can actually do. So, we are reining in our expectations. Learning resources for tutorials. My UCA is a fantastic resource. I've created lots and lots of videos and tutorials. They're there for you guys. Let me show you how to get that. So if you go to my UCA, and over here above Bashir's head, you click on My Technical Resources. In the Canterbury Technical Resources, if you click Digital Media, oops, I clicked the wrong thing, sorry. If you click Digital Media, here's all the stuff for all the different Premiere and Adobe software. We are looking with IT to make sure that all students at home have access to the Adobe software. So if we go into the Premiere profile, you can see that we've got all these sort of things for activities, and there's already videos and stuff for you guys to watch. More content will be added every week now. Yeah, we're going to create more things. Let me go back to the PowerPoint. Let me show you also too on my UCA eStream, which is another terrific resource. So if I'm back at my home page and I go to my library, I'm just going to type in eStream in the search. And this is another terrific resource. eStream, which is eStream.ucreative.ac.uk, has loads of videos and content. So let's say I want like some Twin Peaks. I've looked for it before because I'm currently watching the season. All of them are online for you here, and you can simply click on the episode to watch the episode, and you don't have to pay anything for this. These are recorded from Sky TV, so they're all here for you to watch. There's also radio programs, and it's a fantastic resource that you guys have access to, and you've always had access to this, you just probably weren't aware. If I go back to PowerPoint, once again, you've got Office 365 training, so if you want to brush up with your Microsoft Word or want to learn how to do more things in Excel, that's terrific. And another terrific resource you guys have is called LinkedIn Learning. LinkedIn Learning, you can access with your UCA email and your UCA emails login. And this doesn't just have things for the Adobe software, but it's got all sorts of topics for like filmmaking and photography, to recording sound and making presentations, social media for graphic designers. So loads and loads and loads of resources are up there already for you guys. And each one of these videos, if I go to After Effects Weekly, this is a great little weekly tutorial series that they do. I can see an overview of the course over here. I can see the contents of the course. These are all the different videos, and they're nice and short, shorter than what I'm going on rambling on to. I can see transcripts where they've written that all out. I can add notes. Yeah. And also, on some courses, this course does not have files, but if the course has files, I can access the files as well. Then once again, there's Adobe Tutorials on the Adobe website, and if you're interested in learning like Maya and stuff, Autodesk has always had its software free for students. You just need to use your student email to log on to that, and that will give you access to programs like Maya and AutoCAD for free. If you're having issues accessing Microsoft Office, consider using free options like OpenOffice or Google Docs to create your files. Actually, Google Docs is a great tool because if you're working collaboratively with a group, people can go in and edit and add comments and feedback to that, so that's super helpful. If you have a tablet, I can't press how great Procreate is for actually drawing and digital painting on a tablet. It is very similar to the same feel you have when you use the Cintiqs, and just the brushes and stuff in there are fantastic. If Photoshop isn't working for you, or if it's too heavy for your computer or makes it run super, super slow, I'd recommend Gimp. It's like a Photoshop Lite, but it's open source and free. Krita is another sort of painting and illustration open source project, which is fantastic. And then there's Darktable, which is basically an open source version of Lightroom, which is also a little less intensive on the processing power. And basically I get the feeling like a lot of the programmers who made these programs once worked for Adobe. So there's a lot of similarities and a lot of overlaps. If you're looking for learning resources, don't just use Google Scholar instead. That'll actually give you sort of like articles on it. So if you like Googled like Monet, you're going to get like some kid's 3rd grade report on his water lilies. Or if you went into Google Scholar, you get an article like, is Monet's use of light in French Impressionism showing off radiation from a dying star? Interesting things like that. So also, This is Colossal is one of my favorite blogs to check out. Fantastic news and interesting artists from around the world producing all sorts of interesting work. Frame Destination is a beautifully curated website with all sorts of interesting articles about fine arts and curatorial practices. And then my all-time favorite site for watching movies is Mubi. It's free for you students. There's a lot of fantastic and major art house films on it. It's got deep cuts of things, and they're all there for you to watch for free. It's like YouTube for intelligent films. You're not going to find Michael Bay on it, but you will find Jean Godard, yeah? TED Talks, thinking of things you want to have for background noise, put on some TED Talks to make you feel a little bit smarter. Lots of museums and galleries have virtual tours. There's a link there for all of that. And one of my favorite museums in the whole wide world, Foam, has put all of their catalogs online for free for you guys to visit as well. So just every day, more and more stuff is coming online for you guys. So now you can travel the world from the comfort of your sofa. So consider that as well. Consider these opportunities to check out these galleries and shows that you wouldn't otherwise maybe be able to afford. For taking care of yourself, you've got Tiny Buddha, Sonomia, and Mind. Mind is a friggin' amazing online resource if you're struggling with your mental health. It is a charitable organization here in the UK, and they've given me lots and lots of tips for helping you put this presentation together. If you have somebody at home struggling, or if you yourself are struggling, I can't press that this is the place to check out for sort of helping yourself. If you're practicing mindfulness and you're doing sort of coloring pages, check out these coloring pages as well. There are 113 famous museums and some of their sort of mindful coloring activities. And let's face it, guys, this could be a really interesting opportunity. All of the artwork that you've seen in this presentation works with themes of isolationism, or the artists themselves were isolationist or solitary figures. You've had people like Shakespeare had to be sent home because of a plague, and he wrote King Lear. And good old Isaac Newton got sent home when his schools closed, and, you know, he found a law of nature. So there are silver linings to this. So think about this as a positive thing as well. Like maybe there's something, maybe it's about time you work on your sort of digital presence. So many of us artistically have professional Instagram accounts, and we use that to present our work to the world to get feedback and clients. So consider those things as things to start working on now. The thing that we would like to start pressing upon you guys is to start using Zoom Learning. It is sort of a cloud conferencing. I've got links for help on it. But what's really great about Zoom is if you don't have access to your computer, you can actually phone into the meetings. So there's lots and lots of options. So what do you have to do to use Zoom? Easy. You just need to install the app on your computer if you need to, but the link should work as well. So you're going to get an email from your tutor when they're ready to start using Zoom. And you're going to get an email like this that will say the time, date of the meeting, and you can add it to your calendar, so it'll send you a little reminder like, hey, you got a meeting with your tutor in 10 minutes. And then you'll see there's a link to join Zoom meeting. And then these are the things to dial in. Yeah? And basically, my meeting ID is this number. So if for some reason the link doesn't work, you could put in that ID number to join the meeting. And you just simply click the link. And it's going to redirect me to opening Zoom US. And I can join a meeting. And I'm just going to say join computer audio. And it'll ask you sometimes too to use computer video as well. With Zoom, I can do things like share my screen. Yeah. I can also chat. But most importantly, you can interact and talk to your peers and colleagues. It's very, very simple, and that's why we're using it. We don't want to make this a really over-the-top complicated process. We want to be sure that you guys as students have a chance just to present and talk about your ideas. When logging in, think about what's in the background, yeah? When you are doing video conferencing, and you notice that in the video I was wearing headsets. Headsets are the best way to use online learning, and I recommend highly to mute the microphone, and then when you do want to talk, you hold the space bar while you're talking. That way, this is little interference and sort of loops of audio and distressing noises. It keeps it nice and simple. Try and look professional. Try and wear clothes. It helps, unless you can really sell it as part of your performative piece. Try and use a microphone and headsets. And it does take us time and you time to get used to this. This isn't the way we teach. We're not digital educators. We want to meet and talk with you guys in the studio. We want to be able to point at your work. So each one of us will have different strengths and weaknesses when it comes to teaching online. And same with you. We're not expecting anybody to be good at this yet. So let's give ourselves all a chance to kind of adapt to this sort of learning situation. And once again, please check your MyUCI emails regularly for all the latest news and updates. Log on to MyUCI for the most up-to-date course information and Unity announcements. Course materials will be put onto MyUCI if they aren't there already. You'd be surprised how many things your tutors have been putting on MyUCI that you haven't seen. And have your UCA forwarded to your other email if you prefer to have everything in one inbox. So just consider setting those things up now. And if you need any support, that's my email address if you want any digital support, and campus resources. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you enjoy this weird tutorial with me, and hopefully this doesn't become the new norm. I hope I've put to edge some of your fears and concerns with this. We are all trying our best to get used to the new situation, and it's okay to feel worried or anxious about any of this. I think we're all at different sort of stages with mentally coping with the current situation. So just be aware, we're here for you, and reach out. Thank you very much for logging in. Take it easy and take care.